Today, we're talking about why Virtual PBX is the first choice for voice for small businesses. Virtual PBX is a cloud based business phone system that can deliver calls to wherever you're located, whether it's at home, in the office, or even on vacation. Clients love the fact that they can access and make changes to their account anywhere they have internet. Let's take a look at some of the features Virtual PBX has to offer. Okay, let's start with main number routing. First, we're going to talk about what happens when someone calls your company's main number. Here, you'll see you have the ability to provide custom hours based upon your time zone of when you're open. So, this is by day of the week. So, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you can all have different open and close hours. There's an option for a lunch if you close your office during a time in the middle of the day. And then we also have options to preset your holidays so that your phone rings differently on, let's say, Christmas or President's Day. Here you'll notice the ability to set a specific day like December 25th for Christmas, or perhaps the third Monday in February for President's Day, or even a longer time frame if your office is closed for a longer break over the winter. Next, we'll come down to call handling, and you'll see this is how you configure how and where your calls get delivered based upon the day and what time it is. So let's say we are having a call come in during our open hours. We'll have it delivered to our auto attendant or virtual receptionist. And here you'll see you have the ability to set a custom greeting and then decide what happens if somebody presses 1 for sales or 2 for support or 3 for a company directory. Underneath the hood, you've got ability to deliver the call to a company directory, a specific user, a group of users, a queue, a specific device, maybe a phone that's sitting at a reception desk or a warehouse, a voicemail box, or even a media file. Some companies like to put an option in their auto attendant where you say, press 1 to hear our hours, and then it frees up their receptionist from answering so many commonly asked questions such as, how do I get to your location? What hours are you open? Etc. For your custom voice greeting, you've got many options here. You can do text to speech. You can upload your own file that you record on perhaps your iPhone or your computer. You can call it in over the phone or even partner with a professional recording service where an actor will record your greeting for a small fee. Customers love the auto attendant for a couple of reasons. If you're experiencing a lot of spam calls right now and you're live answering the phone, an attendant will delete maybe 95% of those spam calls. Also, it's a great way to give your callers comfort messaging. So when they call in, if they just hear ringing, they may not know where the call is being delivered to. However, if someone picks up and says, "Thank you for calling my business," they know they've made the right call. You'll notice here that you can also create custom routing based upon lunch, after hours, and holidays. So maybe when you're closed, you have a different auto attendant that says, "Thanks for calling, we're closed, press 1 for sales, 2 for support." Maybe those just go to a voicemail box or perhaps gets forwarded to someone who's on call. Quick thing to note, Virtual PBX does provide eFax, which is fax to email, and also audio conferencing. Next, we'll talk about devices. Okay, let's talk about devices. Another thing that people love about Virtual PBX, we have so many different options for devices that you can connect to your system. This would include things like Microsoft Teams, inputting a soft phone into your CRM, physical phones, our own soft phone that we'll take a look at here later, a web-based WebRTC phone that can be loaded into a browser, or maybe just forwarding calls to a cell phone or an answering service. Next, let's take a look at ring groups and how you deliver your calls and the call flow to your employees. Okay, let's talk about ring groups. Ring groups are one of the most popular features for virtual PBX customers. A ring group is a way to ring multiple people in a certain pattern. That could be all at one time. It could be try someone first and then roll over to a backup. A common scenario might be maybe you have a receptionist that answers your phones And if they're not available and they don't answer within 30 seconds, it rolls over to a backup person or multiple backup people. To create a ring group, super easy. Give it a name, an extension, add some people, and hit create. Once the group is created, let's go ahead and take a look at this sales group here. Then we can decide how it rings. So maybe we want our calls to ring Justin first, and then if he doesn't answer, roll over to Abby. That would look like this. So Justin will receive about 6 rings or 40 seconds, and then Abby would receive also 6 rings or another 40 seconds. If no one answers after this time period, then we can decide what we'll do with our next action. Let's say we want to simul ring people. Drag this over here. Now it will ring both people for 40 seconds or about 6 rings. If we want to add another user, we can quickly select here and add them to the ring group as well. Hit save, and now this is all updated and ready to go. We just talked about what happens if no one answers in that time. That would be the next action. So caller calls in. Let's say they press 2 for billing. It rings for 60 seconds. No one's there to answer. Maybe we send it to a voicemail box called billing voicemail box. Maybe we go to a backup person. Those would all be options under next action. Also, quick to note, we do have ringback settings for groups enabled. What we can do here is if someone presses 2 for billing, instead of hearing a ringing sound for your client when they're calling in, they can actually hear a custom media file that could say something like, "Thanks for calling our billing team. One of our billing associates will be right with you. If you'd like to pay your bill online, please visit our website," for example. Also, caller ID Prepend is a popular option. Let's say that you have multiple employees answering calls for multiple different options, maybe billing and support. If someone presses the option 2 for billing, we can put right in here billing. And when the phone rings, it will actually say billing in the caller ID so that the billing associate can answer and know, hey, this is a billing call. Okay, let's talk about phone numbers with Virtual PBX. With Virtual PBX, it's very easy to add a phone number to your account. We go in here to spare number. Let's grab a local number. I'm located in the Cleveland area, so we'll search for a Cleveland phone number here. I can find the number that I like, select it, and add it to my account. It's on my account just that quick. Took maybe 5 or 6 seconds. Now, many of you are going to ask, what about porting my phone number to Virtual PBX? Yes, Virtual PBX 99.9% of the time can port your phone number over. The process is very simple. You fill out a form, sign your name, turn it in, and Virtual PBX takes care of everything behind the scenes. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at users. Users, that's going to be any of your employees that are using phones on the system. You'll notice here it's so easy to add a user. I click add user, first, last name, email, password, and hit create. You can add users to your account in a matter of 15 to 20 seconds. Another thing that customers love about Virtual PBX is our scalability. We don't restrict you adding or removing users from your system or updating or changing any of the features that we've looked at so far in the system. There's no updating your contract or needing to speak with somebody. You can come in and add or remove a user at any time. One thing you'll notice here is that some people have a little blue tuxedo next to their name and some don't. The people with the blue tuxedo are going to be admins. They're the ones that can make the changes that we're talking about. You'll notice each user has an extension and then the option to have a direct phone number. This is not required, but if you'd like to have a DID or direct inward dial phone number that rings directly to this user, you can add it here. You'll also see the devices that we talked about. So this is where you would assign a soft phone or a physical phone or whatever device you prefer to the user. All right, let's take a look at some user features. First thing you'll see here is caller ID number. Remember, with Virtual PBX, you can configure whatever phone number you'd like to see when you make a call outbound. This could be your main number or by person or group, their DID. You can also configure the name that will show up so that when your employees make an outbound call, your customers see the name and the phone number that they trust, and they're more likely to answer the phone call. Next, let's talk about voicemail boxes. One very popular feature is voicemail to email, which is a feature that VirtualPBX offers. Also, transcription. So instead of having to call in and listen to voice messages and press 7 to delete, you can just receive an email with a transcription and a recording attached that you can save in your email inbox forever. All right, let's talk about call recording, another popular feature. With Virtual PBX, this is configurable on the account level, the user, or the group level, and you can decide maybe I want all calls to be recorded, no calls to be recorded for certain users, for certain groups, or even certain directions, internal or external. Music on hold is another popular feature as well. This is going to be similar to the ringback tones we talked about. This allows you to play custom messaging while the customer is on hold. So let's say someone calls into billing, billing agent asks to put them on a short hold. Instead of hearing generic music, you can hear custom messaging that talks about your business. Thanks for calling. Someone will be right with you. Here's our current promotion, etc. All right, let's take a look at the virtual PBX soft phone. Softphone is a software phone. It's an app that can be installed on a mobile device like an iPhone or a Samsung, Google phone, a computer or laptop that runs Windows or Apple. And it's a way to make and receive calls with your customers without having a physical phone. Again, if you're on the go, you may want this on a mobile device like a tablet or a cell phone. If you're working in an office all day, you can have it on your laptop or a computer. You can see presence. You can set yourself do not disturb. You can add in your contact groups here, your call history. You can dial and even click to dial from right here inside the phone. And it's going to have all of the popular features like warm and cold transfer, hold, park, etc. All right, and that's just a small sample of all of the features that are available with Virtual PBX. If you want to learn more, visit virtualpbx.com, schedule a demo, start a free trial, give us a call. Thank you so much.